When Dan unforgettably took off his socks a few months back and donned full GTN kit, we learned 5 things that road cyclists could learn from triathletes, and I must admit, it was pretty enlightening.
Well, I think now it's time that we return the favour, +1. So we've got 6 things that we think triathletes can learn from cyclists.
But today, Heather, we are certainly keeping our socks on.
We are.
Mobile phone, expensive shoes, you can get your own. She's gonna love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you.
Just because racing a triathlon is a very individual effort doesn't mean you can't benefit from occasionally riding in a larger group. There are so many benefits from riding in a group of more riders, whether it be a sportive, a grand fondo, or simply just riding along with your mates.
And then there's the social side. Generally speaking, it's more fun riding with other people. The miles tick by that much quicker. You might get a little bit of banter, you never know. You might even make some friends, as well as potentially getting some tips and advice along the way.
Riding in a group with a few riders that are stronger than you is a really good way to push you that little bit further and harder. There's nothing quite like sitting on the wheel of a rider that's quicker than you and stronger than you on a climb or on the flat, as it pushes you in a way you can't just do on your own.
Riding in close proximity is essential for bike handling and roadcraft skills, which are important if you're planning on doing any draft legal races. That'll mean you're more confident on the bike, then you can focus on the job at hand.
In fact, adding to your bike skills can help you in non-draft legal events too, especially things like cornering, descending and riding in the wet. Riding with others is how the vast majority of road riders build skill and confidence, and there's no reason why triathletes can't do it too.
As triathletes, it's easy to fall into the trap of getting stuck in the rut when it comes to your training. By that I mean riding all of your rides at one intensity, so doing your kilometres somewhere in the middle of easy and hard. However, to become a well-rounded cyclist, you need to make sure you've got a variety of intensities in your training.
In fact, it won't just make you a more versatile cyclist, it'll make you a stronger and more resilient one too. So try and combine your longer steady days with a few high-intensity days during the week. An idea would be to add a couple of 45-minute high-intensity interval sessions indoors into your schedule. This type of training also has the bonus of being extremely time efficient, important when you have 3 different sports to train for.
Alternatively, you can mix up your longer rides. You could add in some sprints, some threshold efforts, or even try spicing it up with some hills. And just because your upcoming race doesn't have hills in it, doesn't mean you can't use them to help you.
Yeah, mixing up your training will also help break the monotony of those long, steady miles in the saddle, as well as adding that extra level of quality. We really think you can benefit from it. Really, triathletes who do draft legal races can learn a lot from cyclists tactically, whether that's simply navigating their way through the group, attacking and staying clear on the cycle section, or simply getting through that section while saving as much energy as possible for the run.
Well, British Triathlon actually realise this, and they send their youth triathletes out to Belgium to race the kilometres to learn some race tactics. And it's something you can learn from. If you find a local race you can enter, you can learn race tactics first hand, and at worst you can at least come away with some good tips that you'll find useful.
As well as potentially doing a few bike races yourself, it's really worth watching a few bike races on TV just to see how the pros deploy their tactics, whether it's how they move up the bunch while saving energy, how they position themselves in the wind, or simply how they duck and dive and miss turns. There's certainly something that triathletes can learn from pro cyclists. Oi! One of the most enjoyable aspects of being a road rider, for me at least, is the social side. And by that I mean going for a gentle spin, either post-race as part of a recovery ride, or a spin before a big event as part of a taper, or simply going on a longer cafe ride where you stop for a cup of tea or coffee and a bit of cake. A ride with no pressure at all, aside from simply enjoying it.
In fact, it was a highlight of Matt's week, just getting a chance to go out and enjoy riding the bike and having a bit of a chat with friends, a complete opposite and antidote to the hard training that filled most of Matt's week.
Given the sheer volume of training needed to be a triathlete, rides like this can give you a well-needed physical and mental break. And let's face it, who doesn't like a cup of tea and a bit of cake? A little treat never hurt anybody and can certainly make all that hard training even more worthwhile.
To be fair to Dan, he was actually quite complimentary of the top tube bag that most of us triathletes use, both for its aero qualities and its ease of access functionality. But for a look that roadies might consider slightly cleaner or cooler, you might want to try these couple of options.
Yeah, first up is this, the Humble saddle bag. It fits nice and neatly and snugly under your saddle, therefore it's pretty aerodynamic and contains all the spares you'll need for a training ride. So there's room in there for a multi-tool, a couple of tie levers and a couple of inner tubes as well. Or, voila, super old school, simply a cut-off bead-on with all your spares wrapped up in a nice bit of plastic to keep them waterproof, thus leaving room in your back pocket for food and a rain cape. And you can just pop it on the back of there. Look at that. Job's a good one.
Well, now we've shared tips across our channels from GTN to GCN and vice versa.
But as ever, we'd love to know what your thoughts are and if you've got any tips that you think we could all learn from. So from triathlon to road, or from road back to triathlon.
Well, do leave your suggestions in the comments section below, and if you haven't done so already, you can watch Dan's video on what cyclists can learn from triathletes, and you can subscribe to GTN by just clicking on the globe.
Should we go indoors now?
Yes, please.